world, I think I want to start recording straight away because we have Lucky there at the back and we need some luck with everything happening. And I have Hiko sleeping here in the corner, my little guardian angels. I don't know if you can see Hiko. He just blended in his little cushion. There he is, stretched out in. There is so much happening. I've been planning to do this video for some time now. I'm a bit late with recording than usual. I needed some grounding myself, so I did spend quite a lot of time in the garden today, actually, and it did help me sort out my thoughts and really highlight the most important themes I want to talk about today. I usually do these videos earlier in a day as well when I'm like more fresh, but it's been one of those days when I had a lot of admin to do and people to talk to, and now I feel it's the right time to sit and talk about what's coming, what's happening. So I recently got back, a few days ago, from my Malta trip I was talking about. That was absolutely great experience. I have to say, like every time we travel and we change the place of being, we allow new energies to come in, when you allow new information to come in, but also it's about understanding and appreciating what you have left behind and what you're coming back to. I had some beautiful conversations when you connect to people through stars, astrology, cards, and when you talk to people that are already aware of how this all works. The conversation can go to absolutely beautiful expanse. You know, it's just one of those things that you just don't need many words. You know, tarot is another language. I always say tarot is another language, and when you speak it, you see things and understand things in a different way. Same with astrology. The reason why I'm doing this recording is the next new moon we have in sign of Gemini, happening on the 6th of June. I also noticed that most of the videos I have more views on full moon videos. I believe that we are all aware of how full moons actually affect us. I think that equal attention should be paid to the new moons as well, because this is where we have so much of that potent energy to change things and shift things and sit down and pay attention to messages that are coming in. I got a bit distracted by Zen at the background. Lucky's here too. So I have cards ready on the table. New moons are always about setting new intentions, planting new seeds, understanding what you want to take on with you to the next cycle, and what would you like to leave back, like be behind you, what you are done with. And I do have some cards on the table that are reflecting just that. Also, I have a special card from my numerology deck, which I haven't used on recordings on here, but I felt like it's time to do so. And the message that came up that I will be sharing with you soon, it's absolutely spot on. Gemini. First air sign in the zodiac wheel. It makes me laugh because I love working with Gemini energy. I have Gemini in my 12th house, which is the house of endings and beginnings and spirituality as well. So that's why I become very bubbly when I tend to talk about these things. Usually I'm more introvert, believe it or not. But yeah, we have shifted seasons out of Taurus season, out of the stability grounding into more flowing energies. Gemini is all about communication, about all the different faces and hats that we have in different parts of our personality. It also talks about being part of different groups, not necessarily have to wear one hat only. And I've been always saying that. With everything happening, with all the news and social media and information flowing fast, this is exactly what this sign is all about. It's ruled by Mercury at the end of the day, and it is that communication. Actually, it's more about the conversation that is happening up in our heads, the conversation that is happening between us and how we connect. Looking at the cards on the table, I have one major arcana, which is like a little red flag there, or that bell that rings and says like, okay, here, reminder, here I am, and I'll be talking about it. But also, most of the cards on the table are minor arcana cards, and this is exactly what these energies are all about. You might also feel the same, like being overwhelmed with everything that's happening and finding it hard to focus and switching from one to the other, which is exactly what I've been doing like last couple of days. In order to find a balance, in order to find a focus, it's the best thing we can do for ourselves is stop, slow down, take a breath, ground yourself. Talking about those energies, we have 7 of Pentacles, we have 9 of Pentacles. The rest of the cards are more in a bond energy and air, water. 9 of Pentacles. What are the things I'm grateful for? What is it that makes me feel grounded, makes me feel stable, and how do I count my blessings? How do I find that gratefulness for things that I have achieved? Especially with the new moon energies, we have that a chance to pause and reflect on last month or even a year ago. Where have you been this time? Because, a year ago we had the new moon in Gemini. A year before that we have a new moon in Gemini. And I do see this as a very potent energy to connect with your spiritual self. When we are stable and grounded, when we are not overwhelmed, this is when your guides, angels, if you're connecting to those, speak to you even more loud. This is what I was saying. My trip to Malta was absolutely amazing, but at the end of the trip, I felt a little bit overwhelmed. I actually couldn't wait to sort of come back to myself. And I do recharge the best when I'm in my own space, as you can imagine. But it's again finding that balance and allowing yourself opportunities to be challenged in a way, to challenge your mind. 7 of Pentacles is the card that talks about patience, understanding the process, trusting how much you have done, how much you have come, and really like taking the moment to visualize what is it you would like to do next. When it comes to that earthly energy and air energy, there is the theme of finding the balance there, which I always talk about. We all are going through different spiritual journey and awakening and so on and so on. I'm pretty sure that we all do experience that in some way, but some of us are more open to it. And those that are more open to it, they're receiving those messages faster and louder. I'm going to be free. I'm going to allow myself to say that. With the new moon energies, especially in a Gemini, which is the first air sign in a zodiac, we tend to question those a little bit more than usual. And the reason being is because there is so much happening, right? With information, with news, with exchange, with conversation, and so on and so on. Finding that place of stability and balance and grounding yourself and trusting the process, having that patience, you allow yourself to hear your intuition and your gut feeling better. And this is also the conversation that it's very, very important. Let's talk about the ones that we have on the table. I do hold the rose quartz in my hand. This is the gemstone, and it's very potent for your heart chakra. 4 of wands, 6 of wands. I love this two together. And the 8 of wands. 4, 6, 8. Nikola Tesla would talk about 3, 6, 9. But let's talk about 4, 6, 8 for a second. Stability, grounding, structure. Again, finding that balance, what a happy home means for you and how to create one. Appreciating how far you came, having that moment of enjoying your success and how far you came, and being ready for a next chapter, being ready for a next achievement from a very good and healthy place. I can definitely tell this for myself. I achieved those, and I like to give the examples from my personal life because I think they're more accurate. I've been through it, I lived it. And you know, that moment when you know that you started from like pretty much like zero, and I'm talking about my spiritual path, and I didn't know where it's taking me. I didn't know how it's going to develop. And now, when I actually live that reality of talking about spirituality and talking about it through cards, through my personal tarot deck that I'm so grateful for that my sister did, using the AI, using the technology. And again, I'm going to talk about spirituality and technology really being the future for us. I'm jumping from one thing to another, and this is exactly what Gemini does, because there is so much to talk about and there is so much to share, so bear with me. Back to Wands energy. 6 of Wands, success, glory, reaching that place of really being grateful and being satisfied with how much you achieved. And then the 8 of Wands. This is the card of fire element, but it has so much air in it. It's happening up in the air. Momentum, forward movement, communication happening, exchange happening. If there is any area of your life where you feel like things are stagnant, now you can expect that change or movement will be happening. This is this is traditional tarot deck, rather white. My first ever tarot deck that I used, and most of the tarot readers would use that as a beginner's deck, as the illustration is very clear and it has a lot of depth. In that particular tarot deck, this is probably the only card that doesn't have any people on it, any animals on it. Things are happening up in the air. There is so much that we can do, but also there are things that the universe is doing for us. God's universe, higher powers, higher department, however you wish to call it. And, you know, with the Gemini energy, this is exactly what is happening. It's up to us how we're going to show up as well. You know, it's up to us how we're going to use that application you have on your phone. Do you need that one on your phone? What does it bring you? What it takes from you? How we can use it in the best possible way as well. I've been challenging myself with a TikTok, for example. I've tried to do a few videos. I can see some readers there that are doing like daily cards or lives and so on and so on. Some people I talk to, most of them know of tarot because of a TikTok, so great. But it's also how it's done. And to be honest with you, like I do those videos, but I prefer to sit down and talk in person and have that exchange in a real life. I'm saying there is nothing wrong with this. I do readings online as well. I have my private clients, but if I would have to choose, I would be like, okay, let's sit down and talk in actual real life, because I think it cannot be compared having that exchange with screens. Yeah. Talking about it, let's leave those messages here for a moment. Another card I would love to talk about is the 8 of Cups. This particular card came up in a reverse position. Cups are all about feelings and emotions. Water element, 8 is about expansion. We have that number 8 showing up again. The card did come up in a reverse, and sometimes I do feel like I should pay more attention to that as well. This particular card talks about taking a moment to look back, not about going back, but look back, how much you achieved, where you are now, and where do you want to go from here next. I did get a very strong card in an air element. This is the sword, 10 of swords. You might freak out when you see the card in illustration, but once you understand the meaning, you will be appreciating it. So let's dig in deeper. By examining what do you want to keep or where do you need to continue your journey, you will get that clarity of mind and the closure of a way of thinking. Death of an ego, death of one version of yourself, everything that is outdated, everything that doesn't feel like it's part of your energy. Now you're being done with that. By doing so, this is organic shift and change. This is not forced. This is not something that you have to like work hard on. It just comes naturally. You know, the thing that you were maybe excited about a year ago doesn't excite you anymore. And that's fine, because we change, we grow. By closing that chapter, you're allowing space for fresh and new ideas to come in. The major arcana cards I have on the table is from Alphonse Muchabeck, and it's the Devil card, the strong card of Capricorn. Even by the tone in my voice, you can see that I'm slowing down and I'm calming down in a way as well. Should probably do this, as I don't want video to be blocked for whatever reason. So the Capricorn energy is very much about the determination, drive, and passion we have for a certain thing. Even if you look at the card, the most dominant color here is that red and orange, fire, solar chakra, passion, expansion, creativity as well. But the main message of the Devil card is like, how do I use this drive? Where does it take me? When does it become blocking? When does it become sabotaging my growth, right? Because there is always that moment when we are like so much going for something without paying attention to a detail or understanding like, okay, this is now really draining me. It's really not helping anymore. So it's like, how do I use that energy of Gemini? How do I use that energy of Mercury? And another probably quite important thing to mention is that we are having the sun in Gemini. The new moon will be happening in the sign of Gemini, and we have 3 other important planets in the same sign. Venus, Mercury, Jupiter. These are like very, very strong air energies, fast moving, shifting quickly. It can become overwhelming. And it's like, what do I do with all of that? How does that take on me? How do I react to that? This is exactly what this card is talking about. I'm taking the control of my life, and I'm taking control. I can change my reality. I can change my action. I can change my way of thinking. What's happening around me, that's a different story. And if each of us will do the same work, this world would be a very different place in a decade or so. Let's see. I can see that like young people I talk to, and I'm talking generation like 20, early 20s, they know so much about astrology and tarot, and they're so open to it that actually makes me super happy. Like, I wish I knew this when I was 20, and I was having those conversations that time. So there is so much potential. I know there is like so much not nice things happening in the world, but there is so much other good things that we can focus on and help ourselves and others. The oracle card I want to talk about, and the one I left for the end, number 27, number 9, when you look at it together. And the card that came up, it's spiritual partnership. Where you're at when it comes to your spiritual journey, and how do you communicate that? Do you speak to your friends? Do you speak to your close people about these things? And if you think about a year ago or 2, were you at the same level, or you see things and you feel things differently? I can definitely say that for myself. I'm just gonna read one part of explanation of this card to you, and it's affirmation, or it's like a quote that you all have heard before. And it goes, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And this is that moment when we are taking our connection to the divine source on a higher level. And I know, again, that there is so much manipulation out there with that fake spirituality or fake positivity that, you know, it goes to another extreme. But in order to improve our current situation, we are being asked to adjust and harmonize with the natural rhythm and cycle of our own lives. Cycles that are leading us towards significant spiritual relationship. By paying attention to speakers and teachers and authors with whose teachings we respect, we are allowing ourselves to go to the higher level. Keep an eye for those people on your journey and embrace the opportunity to enhance your spiritual growth. I think we all need this to a certain extent. Really finding the balance between this physical 3D, often heavy reality, and how by choosing our words, by choosing the way we communicate, by choosing how we spend our time, we can actually change our reality and the reality of others. I do spend quite a lot of time on social media, I have to say. And you know, you always see those videos that or posts that go viral about the wars that are happening, other crises that are happening, and so on. And I'm sure you feel the same. And I always feel like if I don't share, I'm not part of it, like I'm not supporting it. I'm finding my own way of being involved. Sometimes, and I'm now speaking from the most of my truth and very honest, when I see those horrifying images, I don't feel better if I share them. I actually, it makes my day worse. So what I can do is like post a beautiful picture of a flower and just like send out messages to the universe and saying, can just like more of us be able to see those flowers rather than struggling? You know what I mean? I'm just talking about small things that can make the change for your day and rising the vibration, rising the frequency in that way. Don't forget to set the intention for this full new moon, for this following new moon. Plant those seeds. Now is the time to stop for a moment, think what you're done with, think what you want to take with you, and continue your journey in every possible sense of it. I'm sending you lots of love, and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye for now.